Welcome back. Today's message is different. It's deeply personal, almost like an echo from eternity to your spirit. If you've been feeling spiritually heavy, if your dreams have been too vivid to ignore, then you might want to lean in, because what you're about to hear could change how you see your journey. Now, let me be clear. This isn't for everyone. If you've never had a dream that left you wondering for days, or a moment of stillness where you felt watched over by something beyond sight, that's okay. But if you have, if something inside you already knows this word belongs to you, then stay right here. You're not here by accident. This moment is alignment, not coincidence. Last night, while you whispered those wordless prayers, while you sat in the quiet with more questions than answers, heaven was listening. Not just listening, but leaning in, and something in your surrender moved the heart of God. Yes, you heard me right, moved him. There are encounters that come with signs and wonders, but then there are moments so raw, so pure, that they shift something in the unseen realm without a single word spoken. And here's the truth. You're not just a name on a list or a face in a crowd. You carry a spiritual frequency, one that heaven recognizes instantly. When you pray, the atmosphere shifts. When you choose faith over fear, love over bitterness, that choice doesn't just register, it reverberates in eternity. That's why last night was more than a passing moment. It was a spiritual transaction, a holy exchange between you and the Creator. I want you to pause for a second and think about this. God, the author of emotion itself, felt you. Your existence is not a background detail in the story of the world. You are a vessel, a divine carrier of His presence. And when you step into that reality, you stop measuring your worth by what people see and start understanding it by what heaven feels when you move in faith. Some people will only notice God's hand in your life when it shows up as a miracle, a breakthrough, or a dramatic shift. But I'm telling you, heaven's loudest moments are often born from earth's quietest whispers. That prayer you whispered in the dark, that act of kindness you gave when no one was looking, those moments carry a weight you can't measure, chosen or not. Here's something you should know. You've been walking with God in ways most people wouldn't understand. You've felt things before they happened, dreamed things that felt too real to dismiss. And though you've had seasons where heaven seemed silent, you stayed. You stood your ground. You refused to let the quiet convince you you'd been forgotten. That's why last night mattered so much. It wasn't your loudest moment, but it may have been your most powerful. Heaven doesn't measure by volume. It measures by truth, by faith, by love. And last night, you gave God all three. That's why He felt you. Let's talk about what really happened that night. You may have thought it was just another long evening, another round of unanswered questions, maybe even another tear-soaked pillow. But in the spirit, it was nothing ordinary. Something sacred was unfolding. Heaven wasn't just watching. You had its full attention. The room may have been dark, but your spirit was shining like a beacon. And here's what's wild. You didn't even have to say much. Sometimes the loudest cry in heaven's ears is the one without words. It's the kind of prayer that's felt before it's spoken, the kind that vibrates through eternity, because it's pure surrender, not performance. God's presence doesn't always arrive with lightning, fire, or an unmistakable miracle. More often than we realize, He moves in stillness, in the quiet moments when you think nothing's happening. That night, while your body felt weary, your spirit was at war. Your tears became intercession. Your stillness became a spiritual offering. And without knowing it, You were changing something in the atmosphere. Here's what most people miss. Nights like that are often appointments. You didn't schedule it, but heaven did. You thought you were battling exhaustion, but in reality, your spirit was breaking through barriers you couldn't see. Your vulnerability wasn't weakness. It was a weapon. The kind that moves things in realms beyond our sight. And then, here's the part you may not have realized. God didn't just hear you, He felt you. Think about that. The creator of the galaxies, the one who spoke the universe into existence, stopped to feel the weight of what you carried. That's not small. That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's connection. You didn't reach for Him because you wanted a blessing list fulfilled. You reached for Him because you wanted Him. And that's what caught heaven's attention. There's something profoundly beautiful about loving God for who He is, not just what He gives. That's when the relationship shifts from religion to intimacy. You see, chosen ones are often underestimated in the natural world because their power isn't always visible. People might think you're too quiet, too sensitive, or too intense. But in the spirit, your voice is amplified. Your presence carries weight. Even your silence can shift an atmosphere. That's why the warfare has been so heavy. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're dangerous to the darkness. So the night you thought was just another struggle? In heaven's record, it's written as a victory. That was a holy night. A spiritual turning point. One that will be remembered in eternity. Because it wasn't about perfection. It was about authenticity. And authenticity in the spirit is rare. If you've made it to this part of the message, it's probably because something deep in you already knows. You're not wired like everyone else. You've felt it for years, maybe since you were a child. That quiet awareness that you were somehow different. Not better, not above, but different. Chosen ones aren't made in the spotlight. They're forged in hidden places. From the beginning, your road hasn't been easy. While others seemed to glide through life without much weight, you felt things more deeply. Rejection cut you harder. Loss stayed with you longer. Loneliness wasn't just an emotion, it was a companion. But here's the truth. None of it was punishment. It was preparation. God was training you in ways you couldn't have learned if everything was easy. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every season of being misunderstood, it all worked like a refining fire, burning away what couldn't go with you into your calling. People often mistook your silence for distance. They couldn't see that you were retreating, not to hide, but to hear. That yearning you have for quiet moments, that's not you being antisocial. It's your spirit, craving space to breathe, to listen, to align. And honestly, that's why you can't just blend in with shallow conversations and empty distractions. Your soul wants depth. You need truth. And because of that, you've carried experiences that don't make sense to everyone around you. You've had dreams so vivid, they stayed with you for days. You've seen flashes of moments before they happened. You've walked into rooms and felt the atmosphere shift, even when no one else noticed. Those aren't accidents. Those are markers of a calling. Prophetic dreams, spiritual impressions, sudden peace in a storm. These are the ways heaven interacts with those it trusts. And trust me, you've been trusted with more than you realize. The thing about being chosen is this: you're trained to walk in both worlds. You can live here on earth while carrying messages from eternity. You might not always understand why God gives you certain dreams, visions, or nudges, but every one of them is intentional. They're pieces of a puzzle that's still unfolding. And here's the part most people never see. The crushing you've experienced isn't random. Crushing produces oil. And in the spirit realm, oil is what empowers you. That's why the pressure's been intense. That's why you've faced storms that should have taken you out, but didn't. You may not have realized it yet, but all of this has been shaping you into someone who can carry weight in the spirit. You're not just here to survive life. You're here to shift atmospheres, to speak words that unlock things in others, to carry a presence that makes darkness nervous. You might be wondering, why would God, the Almighty, the one who spoke galaxies into place, be moved by me? The answer isn't as complicated as people make it. God isn't touched by perfection. He's touched by honesty. He doesn't lean in because your life looks flawless. He leans in because your heart leans toward him when it has every reason not to. See, anyone can worship when everything's going right. Anyone can sing songs of praise when they're standing in answered prayers. But what heaven takes notice of is the one who keeps choosing love, faith, and surrender when life is falling apart. And that's what you did. When rejection hit, you didn't turn bitter. You stayed open. When the silence stretched longer than you thought you could handle, you didn't walk away. You kept talking to him anyway. When the loss stung, you didn't shut down. You let it draw you closer. That kind of love isn't common. That's covenant-level love. It's the kind that makes the Father say, I know I can trust this one. You've done things in secret that heaven saw, prayers no one else heard, kindness you gave when it cost you, forgiveness that felt impossible, but you gave it anyway. The world may never applaud those moments, but God doesn't need the crowd to validate what he values. And that's why he felt you. Not just heard you, felt you. It wasn't about grand gestures or loud displays of faith. It was about the posture of your heart. You weren't chasing what he could give. You were chasing him. And here's something you need to know. Angels marvel at that. They've never had to worship through pain or trust through heartbreak. But you have. And when you do, it releases a fragrance in the spirit that can't be manufactured. It can only be forged. So that night, when you thought you were breaking, you were actually birthing something. Heaven wasn't just comforting you. It was responding to you. And when God feels you like that, it's not just emotion, it's movement. Things begin to shift in the unseen. You may not notice it yet, but pieces are already being rearranged. People are being positioned. Opportunities are being aligned. Doors that felt locked are starting to respond to the sound of your obedience. When God feels you, really feels you, it's never just a warm, passing thought in heaven. In the spiritual realm, feeling becomes action. That night you thought was your breaking point. It was actually your turning point. Here's what most people don't realize. Divine shifts rarely announce themselves with fireworks. They often start in stillness, in the background, where you can't see the pieces moving yet. But trust me, they're moving. God doesn't waste moments like the one you had. When he said, "You made me emotional," it wasn't just to comfort you. It was to clue you in that something had already been set in motion, and that something is bigger than you think. It may not show up all at once. At first, you might only notice small changes, a conversation that opens a door you didn't expect, a person quietly leaving your life without chaos, an idea dropping into your spirit that feels too specific to be random. Those are signs, not coincidences. They're evidence that heaven is reorganizing your path. And let's be honest, these shifts can feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not just about adding blessings, it's about removing baggage. That's why lately you may have been feeling detached from certain places, people, or even habits you used to hold close. You're not broken, you're being upgraded. Here's something to hold on to. You can't step into a new dimension. carrying the residue of the old one. That's why the pressure has been so intense. It's spiritual labor pains. And the night you touched heaven, that was the final push that signaled heaven. It's time. You might even start getting unusual confirmations, numbers, repeated phrases, scriptures showing up out of nowhere. Pay attention. These aren't random moments. They're heaven's way of saying, you're right where you need to be. And the most beautiful part? This shift isn't just about what you're about to receive. It's about who you're about to become. Because the moment God moves in response to you, you're not just changed in circumstance. You're changed in spirit. When you step into a divine shift, you can't move the way you used to. Your surroundings may look the same, but spiritually, the ground beneath you has changed. And with new ground comes new responsibility. One of the first lessons you have to grab onto in this season is this: protect your peace like it's holy ground, because it is. Chaos will try to sneak back in. Old patterns will try to pull you back to where you've already outgrown. But your peace is now part of your assignment. You can't afford to let noise drown out your discernment. Here's something you'll notice. Your discernment will feel sharper, almost like you can sense the spirit behind situations and people before you even have the full story. Don't brush that off. This is the Holy Spirit fine-tuning you to recognize what belongs in your space and what doesn't. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Not every voice is meant to guide you. In this new season, you can't just listen with your ears. You have to listen with your spirit. If something feels off, even if you can't explain it, trust that. That's God protecting what He just gave you. And don't be surprised if you find yourself craving more solitude. Some shifts require you to pull back so you can hear clearly. Jesus Himself often withdrew to quiet places, not because He was hiding, but because He was aligning. You can't carry fresh oil if you're constantly pouring it out into places that drain you. This is also the time to guard your words. Life and death are in the power of your tongue, and in this season, your words carry more weight than before. What you declare in faith will echo louder, but so will any negativity you speak. That means you can't afford casual self-doubt or reckless talk about your future. Speak alignment. Speak truth, speak life. And remember, not everyone can go where you're going. Some connections were only meant for the last season, not the next one. If God is gently or suddenly removing people, don't fight Him. Bless them, release them, and move forward. Lastly, keep your spiritual journal close. The dreams, impressions, and sudden nudges you get in this season are going to be pieces of your next set of instructions. Write them down. Many chosen ones lose clarity because they assume they'll remember the details later. But this is a time when heaven is speaking in layers, and you'll need those notes to connect the dots. Now that you've stepped into this new season, you need to understand things are not going back to the way they were. You've crossed a spiritual threshold, and whether you feel it or not, heaven has already begun to rearrange things on your behalf. The first sign? Your dreams. Expect them to become more vivid, more symbolic, and sometimes more urgent. This isn't your imagination running wild. This is heaven's classroom. God often speaks to His chosen in the night, because that's when your mind is quiet enough to hear. Some dreams will carry instructions. Some will be warnings. Others will be encouragement wrapped in imagery you'll recognize over time. Keep your journal close. Another sign is unshakable peace in strange places. Pressure might still be around you, but you'll start having moments where you can't explain why you're calm. You might be sitting in traffic, doing laundry, or standing in the middle of a hard conversation, and suddenly there's this stillness. That's not just you coping better. That's God's presence resting differently on you now. Relationally, expect shifts. Some people will naturally fade away without a fight. Others may reappear after a long absence. Don't be alarmed by either. God is pruning what no longer serves your calling and reconnecting what needs to be restored for this next chapter. You don't have to force any of it. You may also notice divine interruptions, a random encounter that feels too perfectly timed, a stranger who speaks exactly to your situation, an unexpected invitation or closed door that reroutes you at the last second. In the moment, it may not make sense, but in hindsight, you'll see the alignment. And then there's confirmation overload. Numbers like 333, 444, or 777 showing up everywhere. Scriptures repeating themselves through different sources. A phrase that follows you across conversations, posts, and even your own thoughts. That's God's way of whispering, stay the course. But here's the key. You have to stay alert. In this season, hesitation can cost alignment. When you feel that nudge to move, speak, or step out, act on it. The window of opportunity for certain instructions is short. The chosen know when the Spirit is prompting them, and they obey quickly. The most important thing to remember? This isn't just a season of receiving, it's a season of becoming. What's coming isn't just about the blessings, it's about the person you're being shaped into while you carry them. I want you to lean in for this part, because what I'm about to share isn't generic. You'll know if this is for you because your spirit will recognize it before your mind catches up. Some of you have been asking God for confirmation, begging for a sign that He still sees you. You've been wrestling with silence, feeling like heaven is watching, but not speaking. And here's your word. Heaven has not forgotten your name. It's been echoing in the throne room. That night, you thought you were just surviving. You weren't. You were standing. Even if it felt weak, even if you almost let go, you stayed, and that endurance marked you. Angels were dispatched in that moment. The atmosphere around you shifted, even if you didn't feel it immediately. I see some of you waking up at unusual times, 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, and wondering why. Those are not random wake-ups. Those are timestamps from heaven, spiritual nudges saying, pay attention. Write this down. Listen. Your dreams in these hours are not ordinary. They carry instructions, warnings, and sometimes confirmations that will be important in the days ahead. Others of you are in a season where certain people have gone quiet, or relationships have ended without explanation. That's not punishment, it's protection. God is shielding your spirit from voices that would cloud your clarity or delay your growth. And some of you have had recent moments, a vision during prayer, a sudden wave of peace in the middle of chaos, a sentence that pierced your spirit while reading scripture. And you didn't realize that was God answering you in real time. His voice isn't always loud. Sometimes His presence is the answer. Here's what's coming. A divine reversal. Where doors were shut, they're about to open, quickly and unexpectedly. Acceleration. Delays are ending, and what should have taken months may take days. Strategic alignment. New connections and opportunities will appear that feel tailor-made for your purpose. And hear this clearly. You're not receiving this because you begged for it, but because you stayed in position. God is honoring your faithfulness. The next 7 days will bring a small but undeniable confirmation, something personal enough that you'll know it's Him. When it happens, write it down. That's your reminder that the shift is already active. Before you click away or move on to the next thing, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath, not just to release the tension you've been carrying, but to take in the truth of who you are and where you're standing right now. You didn't just stumble onto this word. This was placed in your path. Heaven knew the exact moment your spirit would be ready to hear it. And now, you're responsible for what you do with it. Let's speak life into this moment. Repeat these out loud if you can. I am aligned with divine timing. I am walking in spiritual authority. I am protected by angels. I receive prophetic dreams with clarity. I am a vessel for divine encounters. I will fulfill my God-given assignment. These aren't just positive thoughts. These are spiritual declarations. They align your words with what heaven is already saying about you. Now, hear this blessing over you. I speak peace over your mind. I speak strength over your body. I speak clarity over your path. May every hidden snare be revealed and removed. May every door that's been shut prematurely swing open in its right season. May you be surrounded with the right voices, the right opportunities, and the right timing. Over the next 7 days, I pray you receive undeniable confirmation. A moment so personal, you can't mistake it for coincidence. I pray your dreams become clear, your discernment sharpens, and your spirit stays steady, no matter what happens around you. And here's the truth you can carry from this moment. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not invisible. You are seen, you are known, and you are needed. Chosen one, this is not just the end of a message. It's the start of a movement in your life. You've crossed a threshold you cannot uncross. The atmosphere around you is different, and so are you. From here forward, you walk with a new awareness. You don't just hope God hears you, you know He feels you. That night, the one you thought was your breaking point, has become the foundation for what's next. And now, heaven's response is unfolding in real time. You will notice changes. Some will be small, a conversation, a phrase, a dream that sticks with you. Others will be undeniable. Doors opening, alignments happening, clarity arriving when you least expect it. All of them are connected to this moment. This is your charge. Walk boldly. You are not entering this season timidly. You've been prepared for it. Guard your oil. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every crowd deserves your presence. Stay in alignment. Let peace be your compass. If it disrupts your spirit, it's not from God. Keep speaking life. Every word you speak shapes the atmosphere you carry. You are covered. You are commissioned. You are moving in divine timing. Even the delays of the past were setting you up for the acceleration you're stepping into now. And as you go forward, remember this. The night that moved heaven is already recorded in eternity. The same God who leaned in that night is walking with you in this moment, and He's not letting go. So take this word, hold it close. Let it shape how you move, how you speak, and how you dream. The divine shift is not coming, it has come, and you are standing right in the middle of it. If you know this was for you, claim it. Say out loud, I receive this shift. Comment below with 444 as your public declaration, and share this with someone you know is quietly carrying their own heavy night.